Hello, everybody. Welcome to the House on Podcast Hill. I am your host here, Zoe, and sitting to my right, my lovely wife, my one and only
Gabby.
She's giving me a weird face right now. All right, so welcome back. I guess that's more what you guys should be saying to us, because we have been gone. Sorry for the delay. We moved up here, and as we were saying, it was kind of a complicated thing that was happening. And
we've been having sound issues.
Yeah, we've been having sound issues. When we've been having multiple issues. We've had a computer that just crashed and broke down on us. So we had to send that out, and there was a big freaking mix-up with Best Buy and just sending it to a different state where my parents live and all this crap. It's kind of crazy. We were able to finally get that back, and then we couldn't. Our software we were using wasn't working. It was just kept on not recording or recording weird sounds, and then we were finally able to get rid of that. And just the move up here, me working constantly, everything happening, it just caused a big thing, and we're really sorry for that.
It's mostly the computer because technology sucks. Just so you know.
Yep, my wife says technology sucks, even though we're trying to do a thing here with technology.
I'm still pissed off. We're just now trying a new system, and we're still having fucking issues with it.
Yeah, but these issues are more like us not understanding how the Adobe program works, because we just downloaded it. So hopefully in the future...
the one I wanted wouldn't download. I'm so upset. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but yeah, so we will be heading forward. My wife here has done all the research and picked the topic, and actually found something that I don't believe in, and apparently she believes in this now too. So we're about to learn about the wonderful world of
hypnosis.
Oh, fuck.
I don't see how you cannot believe in this, because it's scientifically proven. Psychiatrists use it all the time. It's a legit thing. Basically, how hypnosis started was by a man named Franz Anton Mesmer. Silly me, forgot to put the actual date.
Franz.
Of Franz, but
Franz Manta.
It's old.
Of course, it'd be some French guy.
Yeah. It's an old practice, but he didn't call it hypnosis. He called it animal magnetism. Basically, what he would do is he thought that there was this magnetic fluid flowing through everybody, and if the equilibrium of it got off, he would take magnets and put them against the person and tell them to reach further into your mind, and basically just make them hypnotize themselves, get into that state of not there, until they would reach a grand crisis, which today is known as a grand mal convulsive seizure. He would basically make them go into a seizure, and then they're cured. Woohoo!
It's like flashing a light into the eyes of an epileptic. They have a seizure. Oh, you're cured.
Basically was his thought. And I'm just, for this part of it, I'm just kind of glazing over everything. So if you get really interested in this, the information I'm getting on Anton Mesmer is actually from antonmesmer.com.
Ooh, a fancy website dedicated to Anton Mesmer. Yeah. Franz.
One thing I found noteworthy was that this girl's parents hired Mesmer to cure her of her blindness.
How can you cure a woman of blindness, huh?
through hypnotism, so they thought this was still a really new thing when, these people did this. Well, he was pretty far in his career, but just overall of hypnotism and everything, it was still a pretty new idea, so people would try anything. He said he almost cured her, but then when... bless you.
Sorry.
When her parents took her out, it caused her to relapse and, become blind again. But his, I guess, peers or whatever said that he didn't really cure her, that, excuse me, he just made her think she could kind of see things through, like, describing things in the room and going, you can see that, right? You can see that desk over there, right? And it looks like this and it's shaped like this. And of course, through the power of suggestion, she probably could.
Delusional.
Something like that, yeah. But what her parents said was that the reason they took her out of the program was because he seduced her. That's the...
With what?
I don't know
How?
what. I'm kind of assuming in a sexual way. That's the only information I could find, though, that he seduced her, and then the parents are like, nope, we're out of here, bye. Anyway, that was basically the end of his career. He moved.
Pedophile.
Like, I don't know if he was a pedophile or not. I don't want to make any, claims or anything. I don't know. That's just some of the information I found. Okay, but really took it from mesmerism, aka animal magnetism, to hypnosis was a guy named James Braid, a surgeon. Apparently he's also some kind of sports person, because when I first looked up the name, it pulled up, I think, basketball or something. But no, you need to type in surgeon if you want to look him up. He discovered that it wasn't magnetic fluid flowing through anything or anything like that.
Just gullible people.
Kind of. But he found, when people went into that trance-like state, fascinating. And he figured out that the main thing was eye fixation. Like, if you look into, like, if you have a candle going or whatever and you just stare into it and you kind of zone out.
You fixate on a candle lid.
Yeah, you fixate on it. Or if you're driving and you, like, take the same route over and over and you kind of just got from A to B or whatever, and you're like, I don't even remember driving here. You zone out. You kind of get hypnotized. But yeah, James Braid basically started it and turned it into hypnotism. And he got the name from Hypnos, the Greek god of sleep, even though you don't fall asleep in hypnosis if you get hypnotized. You just kind of go into a trance.
Just your common sense.
You just go into, like, a trance-like state. And he also stated that hypnosis should only be used by medical professionals. It is a very dangerous thing if not used by someone who knows what they're doing.
AKA carnivals.
Yeah, like carnivals or sideshows or whatever. Like, I don't know. Personally, I would be too scared to ever actually go to, like, a hypnotist show where, like, he picks random people out of the audience and hypnotizes them. Like,
I saw one, people.
What?
I saw it once.
Oh, no.
Me and Adam and Julie, my our friends.
Yeah.
We went to the state fair there in Kansas, up in Hutch. And there was a hypnosis show going on.
You can speak louder.
And I was like, it's all bullshit.
You can speak louder.
Sorry. I believed it was all bullshit there at that state fair. It's one thing I don't believe it. I just think it's gullible people can convince their brain that they're being hypnotized, so they will automatically do what these people say.
I don't think so.
It's the power of suggestion, like you said before. I think that's all it is. But
All I said was the power of suggestion to help a blind girl see, not to get someone hypnotized.
all right, well, I think it's all the power of suggestion, but that's just my thought. Convince me. Keep on going.
I don't know if I'm going to convince you in this podcast, but it is a real thing. Okay. But Sigmund Freud, I believe everyone knows who Sigmund Freud was, correct?
Didn't he want to fuck his mom?
Fuck.
Very
Very funny.
Oedipus complex. Psychology joke.
Anyways,
Sorry.
Sigmund Freud used hypnosis on his patients.
A crazy German? Really?
Shut up. Now, a lot of people said that he wasn't very good at hypnosis, but he did a lot of research into it because by getting his patients in that hypnotic trance, he could get them to say things or, gain more information from them, things that they wouldn't normally necessarily say while completely conscious. Okay? Now,
so he's saying for like post-traumatic stress people?
like for anyone, like he would do research and anyone, who was willing to be hypnotized, he would hypnotize them and then just get more research. Like, if he puts some guy in a trance and he says, do you want to fuck your mom? The guy says yes, bites more down.
He hypnotized himself.
No. Oh, and also something I found, like this is kind of random and it might not even go in the podcast, but I found it kind of interesting. I saw a picture of Sigmund Freud's couch that he used,
Yeah.
And it's like the classic couch for when you like go to a psychiatrist. Like they'll have you lay down. You can imagine that kind of couch in your chair, in your head. Well, he would use those to lay them down to get them hypnotized. So the classic psychiatrist couch is actually hypnotizing couch. I don't know. I thought that was funny. Okay.
That's interesting.
But there are actually like a lot of clinics for hypnosis everywhere, basically. They're mainly used to help people stop smoking, for weight loss, and stuff like that, Basically just have people stop the bad habit. What? What'd you say?
So on the tip of her tongue.
Basically to help people stop a bad habit.
Oh, I've heard about that for smoking cigarettes. Trying hypnosis.
One thing I did find kind of funny on the websites was that it had a lot of people's success stories, but at the bottom it always said results may vary. Results may vary.
Because it can't be confirmed, because it's possibly not real. But at the same time, I can't say that because I believe in ghosts and other crazy shit that can't exactly be confirmed. But I feel like are more credible. But that's not what this podcast is about. I'm here to literally learn and see what I feel about it and express my opinion. I'm not going to totally discredit something just because I do not believe in it.
Ghosts are more real.
Tons of people believe in hypnosis. And, they say it works, especially for trying to draw bad habits. I've really heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I went to that show and I saw some people do some weird stuff. Don't get me wrong, it looks weird. And, I just think some people are more susceptible or gullible, I guess you could say, to something like a parlor trick, essentially,
I wouldn't say gullible. Hypnosis is actually being used a lot in the medical profession. Like more and more each day.
If anything, all I believe is hypnosis is just a way to relax a patient enough to let go or be able to recall something that is like a memory or a sound or something like that.
So you do believe in hypnosis?
I believe it in that way. I don't believe it in
the
way it's widely known,
Yeah, that's not necessarily like the truth of what hypnosis is. Hypnosis is really just more like...
Because, I mean, they act like you hypnotize someone and you can make them say anything or recall anything.
You can't
or
actually...
anything. And I just believe that it's just a way to put someone in a deep state of relaxation. That's all I believe that it does.
Kind of.
And you're relaxed enough to think clearly, I guess you could say. Or at least... I'm not going to say without emotion, because if, someone's doing that and you're remembering, like, your mom being murdered in front of you, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of emotion or something like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
But, I mean, professionals do state that if you get a person in a hypnotic state, you can't make them do anything they wouldn't normally do when they're not hypnotized. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
They say that that's impossible. They also say that a person can lie while hypnotized, so they can make false statements whilst hypnotized.
Of course.
And they also say that, like, not everyone can get hypnotized. I'm not sure why. You're going to say.
See, that is where I believe it, like, really, I believe that's just kind of, like, the place where it's like, oh, well, if everybody can't be done it, then it must not be true.
That's not fair. So with that kind of logic, then everyone would have to see a ghost to make ghosts real.
No, I think that's something separate. Because seeing ghosts isn't an action upon your part. Hypnosis is an action upon somebody else. Like if someone's trying to hypnotize me and I don't get hypnotized, but you get hypnotized.
Are you saying I'm gullible?
No.
And dumb?
No.
Paint
I'm
yourself
not saying
in a
you're
corner.
gullible or dumb. I love you. You're my wife. I mean, you believe... You believe in hypnotism, and I'm not going to discredit you for that. I'm just saying, like, seeing a ghost is a different thing, because that's a force out unbeknownst to yourself. Like, the only way you get to see a ghost is the ghost is there, and it decides to, like, let you, I guess you could say. Or whatever. I don't know, we need to talk about... I guess we haven't really talked about a ghost yet, exactly.
Not really. In our first episode, we kind of discussed what we think personally.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, like hypnotism, it's all in you. That's all. That's how I believe it is. I mean, even if I would say hypnotism is real and everything that's out there, it's all up to yourself.
I disagree.
I'm just saying, like, it's not an outside force revealing itself to you. So I just feel like it's an unfair comparison.
I don't know about that.
I mean, that's like, it's like the only way that works is if, like, there's a certain gene or a certain brain wave or something biological that would not make someone susceptible to hypnotism.
How do you know that's not a thing?
I guess I don't. You just don't hear about many diseases or different things, I guess you could say, that are that way. I mean, if anything,
still doing research
someone
on
has
hypnosis.
a gene. Most people have a gene more towards something rather than to not. I guess I don't know statistics of what percentage of all people are susceptible to hypnotism.
I'm not sure there is an actual statistic for it.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I was just about to compare it to, like, schizophrenia, I mean, there's people who have a certain gene, they've actually found this out, or some levels in your brain that would cause it more, I mean, that would be more, I would accept that and believe in hypnotism if that's the way it was, And, I mean, I guess I just don't know I don't know if it's 99% of people are susceptible and only the 1% aren't. So you're telling me that there's 1% of people...
It just says, from what I've done, my little research that I've done, it just says not everyone can be hypnotized.
I don't know. That's just where I'm just kind of like, okay, I got to back off on believing because that's kind of weird. That would be there.
But professionals like psychiatrists and doctors actually say that an average person, so I guess if you're not average, so this doesn't count to you, but an average person
average.
puts themselves in an hypnotic state 2 times a day. So like when I explained the whole driving thing, I actually do that quite a bit. Like I get from point A to point B and I don't remember driving myself there.
Well,
but I don't run any
daydreaming
lights.
is something different than hypnotic.
It's not. How do you know it's daydreaming? Are you in my mind?
No, but that happens to everybody. They go into like a daydream and then they're like, wait, how did I get here?
How do you know that's not a hypnotic state?
What, daydreaming?
Like daydreaming. Maybe something like that. Watching a movie, sometimes you zone out. That whole zoning out thing is
That's
you
only
putting
you.
yourself. Not everybody likes every single movie they see, Zoe.
Well, I'm not saying I like every movie I see. Obviously, I hate The Fucking Village.
Nothing wrong with that movie.
There's a
Movie
lot wrong with that
snob.
movie. But even if it's a bad movie, I watch it and I don't zone out when I'm watching it. Sorry. Personal picky thing with me.
What do you think about meditation?
I believe in meditation.
You don't believe that's just putting yourself in a hypnotic state? Zoning out?
This might get all like new agey or hippie right here, but I think meditation is something more spiritual than tricking your own mind.
Spiritual?
Yes.
Really? Meditation?
Yes. I think that honestly that's the everything behind meditation is something. It's a spiritual thing, you know. You're supposed to be becoming one with the universe or whatever you specifically use it for. Meditation comes from like Buddhism and shit like that. So it's like you're becoming one with the universe, and monks created meditation. So I don't think it's a hypnotic state. Or I think you're just placing a label upon it that's making it hypnosis.
Meditation nowadays, like the apps and stuff we use, you and I have done meditation before, and you told me that it was about just sitting there, clearing your mind and letting the thoughts come and go as they may, not having any kind of control over it, just letting things come and go.
Okay.
You don't find that to be in a professional manner for like a psychiatrist or whatever, hypnosis, trying to make the thoughts in the back of their mind that they don't want to think about come forward?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the medical definition for hypnosis is. I don't know the DSM-5 shit about this.
DSM-5? What the fuck?
What? You know what the DSM-5 is?
No, I don't.
It's actually like the book that are given to psychologists and psychiatrists, and it definitely basically gives them a definition on how to diagnose someone with a certain mental illness or
They're
psychological
not diagnosing.
state.
This isn't a diagnosis. It's hypnosis. It's not a diagnosis.
Well, that's a tool. I'm sure there's a definition or some shit like that about this. I'm sure psychologists are trained in hypnosis. They don't just pull it out their ass if they pull it out their ass.
No, they are trained. That's why it has to be done by a trained professional.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's actually like a manual, like a dictionary way to be this, you know. I mean, like exorcism has its like rites and shit, you know. It has like a book that the Catholics have. Sorry, going way off topic here.
Anyway, I know that there are people out there who agree with me that hypnosis is a legit thing.
There's a lot of people.
So, I have a couple examples from the Washington Post, an actual newspaper.
The Washington Post.
And these instances actually were brought to court with hypnosis in the mix. So the first one is In 2011, 3 high schoolers died. One from a car crash that supposedly he purposefully did, and the other 2 had committed suicide. And supposedly they had done this because they had undergone hypnosis. The principal of the high school in Florida had hypnotized more than 70 students and faculty in order to help them with stress and anxiety. Now, this principal was not trained in any kind of way. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea for him to just start hypnotizing people to help them with tests and to help them with one of the boys who had taken his own life was just trying to get better at his free throws in basketball. And just because my understanding of it...
Just smoke weed, people. That's all you need to do.
No. Make sure it's legal in your state before you do it. And you're of age. Anyways. But my understanding, from what I can tell, is that the kids were so upset when the hypnosis wasn't working, like when they didn't get better scores and everything. The stress was still there. They just couldn't take it anymore. But the one who went in a car crash, I did a little more research on this one. This wasn't in the Washington Post. It was on a different website. But it said that his girlfriend was in the car at the time, and she saw him do hypnosis, exercise the principal had taught him to do when he got, really upset and anxious, and he just zoned out and crashed the car. So... Did
anyone die?
Only he did in that car crash.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, only he did. That's from the information I can gather. Like I said, that piece of information wasn't from the Washington Post. That was from a different website.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think she would have been the one that died?
She's in the passenger seat.
Still.
I mean, car crashes aren't... You can't determine who's...
Yeah, you really can't determine, but generally, most people... I mean, so when you're in a hypnotic state, you're obviously a really relaxed person.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in a car crash, if you're not relaxed when the impact happens and everything like that, it actually causes more damage, like health-wise.
Maybe in the last minute, he kicked himself out of it because he saw what was going on.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know. It depends on what it was, too. Like, if he got thrown from the car, I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know if there's any way that he could... I think people survive shit like that before, but...
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it all depends on the situation. I'm just saying, if you were in a really relaxed state, like hypnotic, when a car hits you or you run into something, you're less likely to have broken bones and cuts and everything like that, Right. So, I don't know about the cuts, but, stuff inside you.
But, okay. So, the parents, I think it was 5 years later, took him to court after everything happened and they found out, all this stuff was going on. Found out he was not trained or anything like that. He got sentenced. He served a year of probation and he had to give up his teaching license.
Fuck.
Do you think that was fair?
Yes.
Yes. Even though you don't believe in hypnosis. You believe what he did made these kids take their own lives.
Oh wait, the take their own lives part?
The 2. Yeah, because that's basically why. Because he physically did not make them do anything. He physically did not get that kid in a car crash. But
how did he put the thought of suicide in their brain?
But he didn't. He was trying to help them. He was trying to help them relax and de-stress. And yet they still ended up taking their own lives. Do you think that's... it's not like he went to jail or prison.
That's a very complicated thing, because, then you would have to be able to say that he did teach them this exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason that... to me, if they taught them this exercise and it worked, the reason that they end up committing suicide is because it didn't work for them anymore. So they decided to take the final plunge.
I just find it interesting that you immediately went, yes, it was his fault because of hypnosis. Because he...
I guess just the thing is that if it's not real, You know, if it's not real, which I don't believe it is. He taught them some sort of trick where they could trick their mind into something. And one thing most people know who've ever had issues with depression or anxiety or whatever, you know, it feels really great to finally feel zoned out or whatever you want to say, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go from being zoned out to really down quickly, like that would be, it makes it harder, you know. It makes it seem like it's worse. Like, that's one thing why when I went and saw my psychologist and my therapist or whatever, and he was wanting to put me on medication. That's why I didn't want to take it, because medication, it'll make you feel really good. You'll have a really good high, but it makes your lows even worse. So, I don't know. I guess that's why it makes me feel like he should be at fault, because, you know, if it wasn't a real thing or whatever, he introduced an idea that made their life worse rather than better. I don't know.
Damn, that got deep.
Maybe I'm just, I don't know.
No, you're good.
Maybe I'm just all, like, since I don't believe in all that shit, that I feel like he's an imposter, so he should lose his job for introducing something crazy like that. I don't know, plus he's a school principal. You know,
yeah, that's totally out of line.
He's not a counselor or a medical professional.
No.
I mean, it's okay if you learned it and you use it on yourself, but to teach, teenagers, especially troubled teenagers, if he knew that these kids were actually feeling that way, that's just very reckless. You know, I don't know. I mean, he definitely shouldn't be teaching anymore.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't that all that's happened, or did he go to jail or something?
No, he got a year probation, and he gave up his teaching license. That was it.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave up his teaching license, and sure, I guess they, what did they convict him with? Like, child endangerment or some shit like that?
Actually, I'm not sure.
I mean, because if he got probation, he has some sort of record, which kind of sucks.
I mean, probably something along the lines of
manslaughter,
medical practice without a license or something like that, maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, but a probation, all I have to do is go see a guy and piss in a cup like once a month. Yeah. So, whatever.
Okay. Sorry, that got way more deep than I expected it to.
Sorry about that, guys.
But, the next case is actually kind of fucked up, and I don't know how you can respond to it. But in 2016, an Ohio divorce lawyer was convicted of hypnotizing his female clients into performing sexual acts for him. So basically what happened was this one client, she went in, talked to him, paid him, a fee, and then walked out. But she felt a little weird because her bra was kind of out of whack, like it was all disheveled, and she was wet. She was wet down there. And so, a little while later it goes by, but then it happens again after she meets him. And so she goes to the police and she's like, something's wrong. I don't remember anything happening, but when I walk out, my undergarments, are not the way they were before, and I don't know what happened. So she gets wired up, and there's a camera set up and everything. She goes in, and it turns out somehow he was able to get her in a trance. He would basically say, what did he say? He would say stuff like, you can play with yourself now. You can take your shirt off. He would keep trying to get her to bring a vibrator with her the next time they met up. And just doing, really fucked up shit to these girls unknowingly. He pleaded guilty to 5 counts of kidnapping and 1 count of attempted kidnapping. Because I don't think he touched the girls. He just made the girls touch themselves. Still very fucked up and wrong. And he was sentenced to 12 years in prison and is now a tier 2 sexual offender.
Well,
Yeah. So
what I got to say about this? Well, there's several different ways you can go with this. Sure, you're taking the way of hypnosis is real, and you literally hypnotize these women into performing sexual acts upon themselves, whether it's revealing themselves, playing with themselves, whatever, you know. Which that's fucked up.
Yeah.
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 I felt like he should have been more convicted of an actual sexual crime.
Yeah, the kidnapping.
Rather than kidnapping, but I guess he still got put on the sexual offenders list, which is good.
He fuck. He pleaded guilty to that. So maybe the original thing was like worse, and then he pleaded down.
And on the other hand, you go, it's not real, and that's and they're
have
one way.
Him on video saying these things and whatnot.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's, I mean, sure, on video it looks like he's saying things and she's doing these things or whatever, you know. But sometimes people block things out in their memory.
So you say he got 5 women to just block things out in their memory?
Possibly.
How?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you gotta watch the full video to see how everything transpired. I mean, it's not like, I'm sure they would have remembered him like putting a freaking chain lock in, like, you're being hypnotized.
You don't need a pocket watch in order to perform hypnotism.
No, but you need them to focus on something specific.
So maybe
to
he got
perform
them
hypnosis.
to. It was hypnosis. How can it not be?
No matter what, I'm just saying, if it wasn't hypnosis, then most these women were just, they were tricked and traumatized, so they couldn't remember things.
Or they were put under hypnosis.
No matter what, whatever this guy did, hypnosis or not, it's kind of fucked up.
Oh yeah, totally. Whether or not it was hypnosis, that's
or
fucked
that's
up.
The little boy cried wolf.
What do you mean?
Sorry, that might be the best story. It's more like a girl who realized she ended up doing something. So
are you calling 5 women liars?
How do you know it's 5 women, or it was just 5 counts? He
did it to multiple clients.
Did he do multiple clients? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, you didn't say that. All you said is pleaded to 5 different counts of kidnapping, which could.
I said in the beginning he hit. Oh.
You said it.
Well,
you were talking about a single lady. That's all you told me.
No, I said in 2016, an Ohio divorce lawyer hypnotized his female clients.
Sorry, but you only gave the story of one client, so I assume you're just talking about one client.
Came forward. She was the only. She started it because she knew something was up.
All right, no matter what, it's messed up on what this guy did. I mean, to do that, it's kind of creepy.
Yeah. It's really creepy. Getting a woman at her most vulnerable after she's had a divorce. To
possibly
do fucked up shit. He's a divorce lawyer.
Yeah, but sometimes when women get divorced, it's not always a really vulnerable state.
Well, usually, whether he, starts it, she starts it, it sucks for everyone involved, getting a divorce.
Yeah, just sometimes it's more anger, so it's not really vulnerable. I don't know. We're not here to debate semantics of what state you're going to get divorced.
No, we are here to agree that hypnotism is real and has been used in court cases.
I still don't believe in it. I still don't, and I don't think I ever will. I mean, unless I do my own research, see it firsthand.
I also did a little bit of research, court-wise, just because I found it interesting. These both dealt with hypnosis. I'm like, okay, can you use hypnosis in like...
Hypnosis?
Yeah. Like a lie detector test. They're admissible in court. So I wanted to know, like, if they've tried to use hypnotism before. And they have, actually. But it's like, you can't. It's not actual evidence for obvious reasons. Like, you can lie
Can't
while
be
you're
admissible.
hypnotized.
Admissible. Yeah. That's the whole other thing, too. It's just like how I'm glad and more it's becoming unreliable for eyewitness testimony. Because people in their memory to be able to recall things,
it gets
we're realizing that people are actually realizing that it's not that great of a thing.
People remember things wrong.
Yes, and a lot of people, and there's people who don't actually remember things, and they just a cop or whatever, not saying all police are bad, but some people mention things to these people, and then they automatically assume it's it, and then they make themselves remember something. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of people in prison, a lot of people sitting on death row who are there basically just because of eyewitness testimony, because that's the best evidence they have. And I believe the statistic is 1 out of 10 can be exonerated from false eyewitness testimony.
Yeah.
Something like that. So,
yeah. But I don't think it should be used to like gather evidence in courts. I don't think that's good. But I think in the medical profession, done by a professional, hypnosis can be a very good thing and be very helpful.
If it's real.
It is. That's why I'm never going to go to a hypnosis show, because I don't want to be hypnotized. Fuck you guys.
I could go to one because I won't be hypnotized.
What'd you say? So
I can go to one because I won't be hypnotized.
You don't know that. Have you ever let someone try to hypnotize you?
No, since I don't believe in it, it's not going to happen.
You don't know that. We should try and get you hypnotized just to see if you can be hypnotized.
It's not going to happen.
It'll happen.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right, well, that is Hypnosis here for the House on Podcast Hill. I want to thank you all for listening, and I'm sorry for the whole beginning of the episode, because I'm sure it's probably not the best.
Yeah, it's going to be messed up.
It's going to be pretty messed up, and we're going to do our best to edit together to make it sound pretty nice. Like I said, this is our new program that we used for the first time. Our next episode will be better, and it will just keep on getting better for you guys.
And hopefully we'll be able to give you an episode every week now that we kind of have things
We're
figured
definitely
out.
Shooting for that. We were shooting that before, but everything got fucked up. But we are definitely going to go and give you an episode every week. I'm sure there might be a week, you never know, where either we'll record something even smaller than what we're already doing, just to fill in that week, or
but it'll always be good content.
We'll let you guys know on our YouTube channel, or if we have make a Twitter or whatever, social media.
Yeah.
If we can't bring up a show or something like that, or something happening where we both can't.
But at this point, it would have to be like a really big thing for us to not be able. It basically have to be
like a death in the family or some crazy shit happening.
Yeah, like we're trying really hard, and we have a lot of fun making these when everything goes right. So we really want to bring you something every week. Yeah,
I mean, this is probably the highlight of my week, other than seeing my wife every night and come home. Oh. Sorry, don't mean to be all smushy on the air. But yeah, so we are gonna do our damnedest to bring an episode every week and have better quality, better content, and we're just going to be doing some good shit here soon. I got a topic that I'm going to be researching for the next 2 weeks, and and I guess we'll see how it goes. It might just be one episode or split up into two, just because I might have a lot of information on it. Pretty excited for it, because it's actually something I've thought about a lot before, but I actually haven't done so much research into it. So I'm about to dive deep into that. And next week, I'm not sure what we're doing, but we'll bring something good, just as good. So that is House on Podcast Hill. I am Zoe and my wife.
I'm Gabby.
And this is where we say peace.
Bye, guys.